Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has given a speech at the closing ceremony of the Youth Year and the start of the Volunteer Year. Representatives of the new generation from all regions of Kazakhstan took part in the event. The president of Kazakhstan highlighted that the Kazakh youth is special. To date, they are becoming the most recognizable brand of the country. The head of state said that during the Youth Year, initiated by Nursultan Nazarbayev, large-scale projects in different areas have been implemented by the state authorities. President Tokayev also emphasized that the state will continue to support the growing generation. He has instructed to adopt a single integrated program which will cover all the segments of the youth.
Очевидно, что в современном высококонкурентном мире успех никому не гарантирован по праву рождения.
Obviously, success is not guaranteed to anyone by birth in the modern and highly competitive world. It requires constant work on self-improvement and competencies. Education is important for sure, but it is only a starting point on the way forward. Lifelong learning is important. Never stop learning. Every new achievement is a new starting point. The human potential is limitless. I'm pleased that the youth of Kazakhstan has a clear civic position on the main issues of state development, and they openly express it.
Молодежь Казахстана имеет четкую гражданскую позицию по основным вопросам развития государства, открыто ее выражает.
Meanwhile, President Tokayev suggested focusing on several key areas in the upcoming year of volunteer. He said that the act of volunteering needs to be developed not only at a national scale, but also at regional levels, specifically in towns and villages. Kazakhstan has been listed in the top 50 of the Human Development Index. Having improved its positions on several indicators, the country has entered in the same group of countries as Norway, Germany, and Sweden. This has been stated in the report of the United Nations Development Programme for this year. The UNDP resident representative to Kazakhstan, Yakub Beris, said that basic indicators by which the rating of the countries was determined include life expectancy, duration of education, and gross national income per capita. Other data that has also been taken into account include the level of social security, parameters of health and cultural development of population, gender equality, environmental protection, as well as assessment of the citizens participating in decision making. The UNDP resident representative to Kazakhstan, Yakub Beris, said that Kazakhstan took the 50th place among 189 countries in the Human Development Index. The coefficient has been increased for 2018 to 2019 and has amounted to 15.5%. Life expectancy has been increased by 5 years from 1990 to 2018, which means that each person who was born today will live 6.5 years longer than the one who was born in 1990. The average duration of education from the moment the student went to educational institutions has increased by 2.9 years. Nursultan will host the 14th International Summit on Syria on December 10th and 11th. Participation of the countries involved in the next Astana process has been confirmed. Russia, Turkey, Iran, Syria, and the Syrian opposition will take part in the meeting. The plenary session of the delegates is scheduled for December 11th. The main discussion topics of the summit include the improvement of the situation in Syria, assistance to the people in the country, and creation of conditions for returning refugees.
Кездесуге бақылаушы ретінде Біріккен Ұлттар Ұйымының Сирия жөніндегі басқа
The United Nations delegation led by the UN Special Envoy for Syria, Geir O. Pedersen, will attend the meeting as an observer. The head of the Russian delegation is the Russian President's Special Envoy for Syria, Alexander Lavrentiev. The Iranian delegation will be led by Senior Assistant for Political Affairs to Iranian Foreign Minister Hussein Jabir Ansari.
Hussein Jabiri Ansariдің басшылығымен қатысатын болады.
December 10th is a historical day for Kazakhstan. Exactly 22 years ago on this day, the capital city of the country has moved from Almaty to Akmola under the first president's decree. Over the years, Nur-Sultan has become the main symbol of the country and one of the most beautiful capital cities in the heart of Eurasia. World-class architects such as Kisho Kurokawa, Norman Foster, and Manfredi Nicoletti were involved in the construction projects of the new capital city. Today, the city is not only the financial center of the region, but also an authoritative dialogue platform. Significant decisions of global importance are made in the capital as well. The UNESCO has awarded the capital city of Kazakhstan as the City of Peace. History of the city's formation can be assessed in archives.
Қалалық архивте негізінен
There are nearly 700 funds and 300,000 to 400,000 documents in the city archive. This is not only the history of the capital city, but also it is the history of the country and the nation at large. Currently, all our archive materials that might be of great importance are being digitally transformed.
мемлекетіміздің тарихы, ұлттың тарихы.
Trade value between Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan has amounted to $191 million over the past 10 months. Experts estimated that the countries sold products worth $221 million in 2018. Meanwhile, analysts forecasted the strengthening of economic cooperation between the two countries. Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, which are both part of the Caspian states, are a natural bridge connecting the east and the west. The transport corridor passes through the countries in this direction. The multimodal transportation of goods is implemented through this corridor. In November this year, the countries began the construction of a fiber optic communication line along the bottom of the Caspian Sea. Thus, a new stage of cooperation between Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan in transport, energy, industry, and agriculture demonstrates great prospects beyond the regional economy.
Успехи Казахстана – это успехи Азербайджана. Я не знаю ни одной
The
проблемы.
success of Kazakhstan is the success of Azerbaijan as well. I don't know a single problem or a single international issue which could split the views and positions of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. I think that such an attitude is in the interest of our states and fraternal people.
Интересам наших государств и интересам наших братских народов.
Это общая история, общий
Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan stand together with joint initiatives and support towards each other.
поддерживают друг друга.
A new coal deposit is mined in Pavlodar region. According to preliminary intelligence data, the mineral reserves in the deposit exceed 50 million tons. The products are planned to be exported as well. The first batch of 30,000 tons of the coal has been delivered to Russia and Turkey. Meanwhile, the rest of the coal is planned to be used for the production of 300,000 tons of solid fuel every year. The fuel is suitable to be used for both household and industrial needs.
Качество угля – это
The quality of the coal is grade G and grade D. It's either long flame or gas. The sulfur content is up to 5% and the ash content reaches up to 6%. The calorific value is between 7.800 and 7.900.
которые, допустим, рядом расположены. С открытием данного
The shortage of the coal in the region has been resolved thanks to the opening of this field. Coal is in great demand for household needs, including for stove heating.
большим спросом пользуется.
Kyrgyz farmers plan to increase the export volumes of agricultural products to Kazakhstan. In 2019, 20,000 tons of dairy products have been imported from the neighboring state, which is more than 90% of the total export volumes of goods in this category. Meat and meat products have been sold at $587,000.
С казахстанской стороны в данное время никаких таких
To date, there are no facts recorded from the Kazakh partners. However, in the past years and in the beginning of this year, they sent us information that our entrepreneurs with their products entered the territory of the neighboring state without accompanying documents. Thus, it means that they also work.
на территории соседней республики. То есть они тоже работают.
The Eurasian Economic Union technical regulations on increasing the milk quality requirements will enter into force in Kazakhstan in 2020. These regulations were introduced in Kyrgyzstan 2 years ago. Therefore, milk producers are aware of the conditions.
Süt öndürüşçüler, ошол баягы сүттү кайра иштетүүчү заводдор, ишканалар,
The Ministry of Agriculture has sent letters to all local dairy producers, milk processing enterprises and farms. The letters state that there might be changes in the requirements of milk quality in the near future. At the end of December, we will hold a meeting with all business entities to check their readiness for the new regulations.
комитет жана советтерине биздин министрликтин жетекчилиги аркылуу жиберебиз.
Representatives of the Kyrgyz Ministry of Agriculture highlighted that negotiations will be held at first on the volume and cost of possible supplies. Following that, they will discuss on the deadline. Exhibits of Sulaiman Too Museum, which is one of the largest museums in Kyrgyzstan, have been presented in Tashkent. The exhibition is held at the State Museum of History of Uzbekistan. The exhibits included rare archival materials, manuscripts, historical documents, and photographs, which allow visitors to get acquainted with one of the oldest centers of civilizations in Central Asia, as well as learn about the history of cultures that formerly inhabited the south part of modern Kyrgyzstan. The Sulaiman Too Museum is located in the Osh city.
Здесь представлены все экспонаты интересны нашим.
The exhibition includes artifacts that are interesting to Uzbeks because historically we belong to the same region and era. We are culturally interconnected. The exhibition portrays the whole history from the 10th century BC to the present day. The museum is located in a cave. There are 2 floors. We are interested in its main part. The history of 3 religions has been studied. The religions are considered as the originators of Central Asia, and these include Islam, Maoism, and Zoroastrianism.
Почти основоположников Средней Азии это ислам, маонизм и зороастризм.
The exhibition was organized as part of the implementation of the agreement between the Sulaiman Too Historical Archaeological Museum Complex and the State Museum of History of Uzbekistan. The event in the capital city will last until the end of this year.
The first Kurultai of Kazakh students was held in Sakarya, Turkey. The event was held as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. In 3 days, 250 youth from more than 30 Turkish cities discussed about the significance and importance of the outgoing year, which is declared as the Year of Youth in Kazakhstan. Our main goal is to unite Kazakh students who are studying abroad. We must not forget about our nation and about the cultural and spiritual wealth that we possess. We are fraternal people. Based on the annual tradition, such celebration events are being held prior to Kazakh Independence Day. We are happy to discuss the development and success of Kazakhstan.
3 new memorial objects from Akhmola region were included in the list of sacred geography of Kazakhstan. These include the burial places of Toğuz Awliya, Angal and Kabul Batır. In total, 10 national objects from Akhmola region were presented in the Republican project. We have already allocated the budget for the installation of QR codes, banners and directional signs. We will also do the necessary financial calculations in order to allocate money to build the infrastructure. All these projects will be carried out in the near future. In addition, a roadmap that includes all of the areas has been developed. Guests and residents can travel to the monuments of cultural heritage with comfort via the Tugis navigation service. The Memorandum of Cooperation with the International Cartographic Association has been signed by the Institute of Public Development Modernization of Kazakhstan's Identity Program. So far, 170 historical objects have been added to Tugis digital maps. We do all this work in order to popularize the sacred objects of our country, not only among Kazakh people, but also foreigners. Currently, 170 sacred places have been added to Tugis navigation service. In the future, we plan to add all 700 historical sites. Mainly, this service will help students and foreign tourists to quickly and easily find and reach the sacred places. The initiators of the project emphasized that the emergence of sacred objects on popular international resources is another step towards the country's spiritual development and expansion of tourism potential.